Oh my, I forgot. I have my earbuds here. Let's put them on. Hi, this is Tomasa Makapinlak, and it's been a while since I've done a Facebook Live. And I've been wanting to do one, but I have not had the conditions to do one, or I've been out and about. So I welcome you all who are joining me here today. Um, we're sitting in a lot of chaos right now here in California. And even if you have any natural disaster, it feels like chaos. It can feel like chaos. And so I want to talk about a little bit about undercurrents and how they really are your blind spots. So the thing is, like, you got to be ready to be in the flow of life. Anything can hit you at any time. And the things that will show up and trigger you and keep you from living the life that you want to live are the things you have to look at. And I'm going to tell you that what's right in front of your face is never really ever the issue. It's something deeper. So I like to call these undercurrents. And undercurrents to me are our blind spots. Our blind spots are really how we react to things unconsciously or subconsciously. And what that means is that we might have a situation that happens in our lives and we react to it. And when we react to it, we find ourselves upset. We might find ourselves angry. We might find ourselves weeping. We might find ourselves reacting in many different ways. And I'm going to tell you that it's never, ever what is right in front of you. So I know this because of my work of 22 years as being a holistic practitioner / spiritual holistic practitioner who sees beyond the surface and does a lot of healing on a multidimensional level. So I welcome you all here. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. And I promise that I will give you some tips that you can get through these times here, especially if you live in California, or these times here through the holiday season that many of you might have happening. It's a time when you might find yourselves reacting to family, reacting to different situations. My first thing is to always be aware. Be aware of what is happening. Hi, Maureen. How are you doing, sweetheart? Thank you for the love. Be aware of yourself and be aware of what you can own for yourself. The role that you partake in any given situation is the way I like to describe it. So, I'm getting ready to teach the East direction of the medicine wheel. So for those of you who don't know what that is the medicine wheel is the work, and it's a lot of self-development work. And as the work of my particular medicine wheel comes from the Inca shamans. And also probably a mixture of my background of being a Chinese medicine practitioner as well. And so the wonderful thing about it is that, the East direction is all about sitting in quietness through all the chaos. And some of us can do it, and some of us can't. And sometimes we can do it, and sometimes we can't do it. And I'm here to tell you that, it takes a lot of inner work to get there, to not be triggered by other people, and to hear other people when they are speaking and notice when it is bothering you when they say something. So whenever we have judgment, then we need to look at it within ourselves. What am I not owning about that part of myself? So everyone is a mirror to us when we have judgment behind it. But when we can just let people be, then we have owned it ourselves. So another piece is, like, understand when people are projecting their stuff onto you. So, if you've done a lot of your inner work, and when people come at you, you can sit there and go, and not have to react and not have to do anything or say anything, then you have done your inner work. I'm going to give you a situation. It's kind of funny. I've had I reach out to a lot of people here on Facebook sometimes, or people reach out to me because they need some wisdom or they need some help, some knowledge or whatever. And I usually will share whatever I can, whatever I see with them. Thanks, Maureen. And the thing about it is, I helped a young gal recently, a couple months ago, stop herself from committing suicide. And the interesting thing is, like, she couldn't understand why it would be, so helpful, why I'd even care. And the key is, like, I care enough about myself that I'm going to care about you too. And that's really the truth. So I'm going to radiate whatever I feel about myself out to everyone else. And so, yes, I'm going to listen to that person. I'm going to help talk that person off the ledge if I need to help them talk off the ledge. So I would check in with her to make sure she's okay. And the interesting thing is, sometimes when people don't want to be checked in, they don't want you checking in with them because they want to go on their own path to do whatever it is that you're doing destructive. And so I felt this backlash from her, and sort of like she was disengaging from me. And so the other day I noticed that somehow, I don't know how I know these things, she blocked me on Facebook. I knew it was coming. I could feel it, just the way she was reacting to me. And it wasn't necessarily just the reactions. It was also a sixth sense that I have, because I could see the little kid in her has not healed. And so, she needed to go away and she needs to do her thing. And so that was my prompt, as sometimes I got to let go. That's my big thing here in this world here, is to let go. So, the undercurrent was there and I saw it. And so I texted her, because I have a phone number. And I said, why am I not surprised that you did what you did? And she just, the thing she said was, I find it unhealthy to be around you. And so I went, wow. And she's like, just lose my number. And I went, done. And so it wasn't that I was upset with her or anything. It was more like, you got to let her go. Go let her be on her path, because it's got nothing to do with you. You've done your own inner work. And I didn't say that to myself, but I was like, done. And I wanted to tell her everything that I saw about her that was going on. And it was the projection that I'm finding it being unhealthy to be around you. I find that really interesting when somebody had a gut issue, a digestive issue, and I helped them heal it by giving them some flows. And then when she wanted to go, take herself off the ledge or, kill herself, I talked her out of it and said, what is it that's really going on here, and helped her through it so that she wouldn't commit suicide. So the thing is, sometimes some people can be helped, sometimes they can't be, but I feel like the work is so much deeper in inner work, and it's not what's right inside of you or what's right there in front of you, actually. It's something very deep, something that might have come very early in life, and it could even be a life that has been brought forward this life to deal with. So these are the undercurrents that we deal with. When we deal with somebody, when we work with someone, when we have a situation where we react unconsciously, subconsciously, and we do it all the time, every day in our lives, we're always reacting unconsciously to everyone. Hi, good afternoon, Steve. And thank you for the love, Steve and Maureen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so we have to look at what is really going on within ourselves. When we react to someone, now if I had reacted to her, the shaman in me wanted to like lurch out, and that wasn't really the shaman in me. My ego wanted to lurch out and tell her everything that I knew about her, that I could feel going on with her. And the shaman in me said, shut the fuck up. Yeah, shut the fuck up. You be quiet. Shamans keep secrets and they just hold space for people. And we only let people know what we hear, what we know about them, when they're ready to hear it, and they ask us, they ask permission. So I'm learning to zip my lips a lot, because I always want to say what I hear and see and feel. And so I just said, no, let it go. And it was the most freeing feeling in the world when I did that for her, or when I did it for myself, better yet. So, here's the thing, is that was sitting still through the chaos, because someone projected their crap onto me. I like to say the other 4-letter word that begins with an S and ends with a T, sometimes they're shit. And so it was kind of like, okay, got it. Just let it roll off of me. Now, had I not done my inner work, I might have reacted to her and lunged at her and let her know everything that I saw in her. Instead, I went, let it go. Lose her number, let it go. And it's all good. So when can you do that for someone? And this is not about running away from someone. So I want to get this very clear, because running away and ghosting people, that is like really elementary. You know, we want to run away from people, even when we think people are toxic. You know, I see this all the time on throughout social media, everyone. Oh, I'm deleting that person because they're negative. Oh, I'm doing that to that person. The key is, how can you sit through all of that? Because the peace is within yourself. And if you don't have the inner peace that you need, what happens is you're going to react to somebody. So how can you sit peacefully through all the chaos? And then what I'm observing here, being here in California with all the fires, it's really funny to see this, to hear this and feel this and hear what's going on, and to hear people go through whatever they're going through. I had someone text me before the fires broke out here in Southern California, one of my students, and she says, I'm feeling this and this and that and anxiety. And I didn't know exactly what it was, because I was busy at an event trying to stay focused and be present. And I said to her, go track it, feel what it is. The next day, the fires broke out. And I texted her and I said, because she's very empathic and she feels things on a very collective level. And I can too. So I think, you know, my way of dealing with the fires was to go home and go to sleep. I would go out in public and I think I could feel all the chaos going on, what people were feeling. And I would just come home and I go, I got to go lay down. That was my way. My soul needed to go like process everything and deal with it that way and hold the space. And there's a lot to be said about it, because I do a lot of work in the astral plane. And that's what I needed to do, was go do the work in the astral plane. And so I said to my student when I texted her the next day when the fires broke out here in the valley, and because she was near the valley, or she was actually in the valley, but not that part of the valley where the fires actually broke out. And then it moved on to Malibu, which is one of my favorite places to go be, and to the beach and hike and all that stuff. So I said to her, do you think what you were feeling the day before was really the fires? What's going on? And she said, probably. Because she'd been on a set all week. She's a makeup artist. So she'd been on a set all week, and she had been in Long Beach, and then it moved to the valley. Long Beach, for those of you who don't know about here, it's out, you know, part of the South Bay, I guess, between South Bay and Orange County, I should say. And it's a totally different area than the valley. And so when she went to the valley, she felt something going on. And so she said, I don't know, I just start breaking out and crying, anxiety and all that. So it just came up on her. And I said, okay, you need to go track it. What is it about? You know, go sit, breathe, and feel what part of you is feeling this. And sometimes this is, you know, it was a sign that she felt something going on with the collective, something about to happen. So, you know, that's just one way of feeling it in the collective. How do we react? So how could she sit in the peacefulness and all that chaos that was about to happen? So she could feel it, and she was feeling it in her body. She's very, very highly empathic. And so, you know, she's reacting to it. Why am I feeling so anxious? Why is this going on? So, you know, the key was to come back to peace and breathe through it and hear what part of you might be feeling anxious, or what part of you is anxious. And I guarantee you, it's never the adult or the part of you that's sitting right in front of your face. It's some younger version of yourself, something that happened way a long time ago. So, you know, we have to be wary of the undercurrents. I talk about undercurrents. You know, we think of the ocean. The ocean has undercurrents. I think about when I was married, I had gone to Hawaii for a family vacation, and my ex-husband, he loved to go boogie board riding and body surfing in the ocean. And one day he came back, and you know, I probably out in La La Land, he came back and he said, I almost didn't make it back. And I go, what? You know, and he had been caught. I mean, I'm so happy that he made it back. He had been caught in an undercurrent. And it took him out, and it kept taking him back out further in the ocean. And every time he tried to swim back, it would take him out further. So he fought it. So finally, he actually just went with it, and he just floated with it. And this is what happens when we go with it and we lean into it, we float in it. It brought him back into shore. Every time he fought it, it actually took him further back. into the ocean, deeper into the ocean. So instead, he was trying to come back in, and he was losing his breath because he's trying to, catch the wave to come inside, and he couldn't. The undercurrent just took him. So instead, he just kind of gave up. And this is kind of when life happens. When we give up, we set ourselves free, and then the new chapter begins. And so he was able to get back to shore. And this is true about the undercurrents. The undercurrents are the blind spots on the ocean. They're going to take us out there. And so this is what happens in our life. These are blind spots. So blind spots might be something that happens to you all of a sudden, bam, you didn't see it coming. And so the key is to ride that wave, lean into it and understand it and be aware of it and take it deeper and lean into it. And when you're able to lean into it, then you're able to open up a more beautiful facet of your life and allow things to come to you. So I wanted to get on here real quick because I just finished a TeleSummit interview, and I'm like, oh, got my makeup up and all dressed up and stuff. And so I was like, well, let's just go do a Facebook Live. I normally do them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I haven't been able to do that during the month of November at all because either I've been traveling or there's been work done here on the house and it's been too loud to do that. So I was like, no, I can't do it. So I wanted to talk to you all about that. So during this time of the year, undercurrents are pretty present with us. A family member might show up to an event or something happen, or who's going to do this, who's going to do that. Eckhart Tolle says, if you want to see if you're really enlightened, go spend a week with your family. Or he says parents, I say family, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be your parents. It could be your siblings as well. It could be, your aunt or your grandmother or your grandparents or whoever might trigger you, say the wrong thing to you or look at you the wrong way or pass judgment on you. And how you deal with it is how enlightened you are and how deep your inner work has been. So if someone triggers you, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to go deeper. And instead of reacting, notice how you might want to react. And can you just let it go? And I'm not saying let it go in a way that you numb out and you just ignore it, but go in a place where, what's this all about? Inquire within yourself. I just gave a suggestion on the summit, and I'm going to give this suggestion to you too. It's something I learned over 30 years ago when I was in my 20s. Yes, I am 55 today. I like to say that because I want you all to know what the example of 55 can look like. And you don't have to be, walking around with joint aches and things like that. You can be very vibrant, and you can have a lot of life force in you. And you don't have to have hormonal issues going on like hot flashes and night sweats and things of that sort. But you can totally be vibrant and love your life and where you are and have all the shit come at you, and you kind of go, yeah, interesting, cool. What's that all about? Let me look at that. So that's what it can be for you. That's a possibility. So as I go on to Teach the East, hi Emerald, I see you are on here, maybe possibly. It's all about how can we sit in the peacefulness, have that inner peace through all the chaos, and still be vibrant, still have a lot of vitality, and love life. And that's what I want you all to have. So when you can journal and check in with your higher self. So you actually take your dominant hand and ask a question, and allow your non-dominant hand to answer the question. So if you're right-handed, use your right hand to ask a question, and use your non-dominant hand, your left hand, to answer the question. And on this screen, it might look the other direction because this is my right, and it might appear as my left on the screen. So, and if you're left-handed, you ask the question with your non-dominant hand, and you answer it with your right hand, if that's your non-dominant hand. Excuse me, if that's your dominant hand. I don't know. You ask the question with your dominant hand, and you answer with your non-dominant hand, okay? And you can ask, what part of me is feeling this way? So it's just inquiring, questioning yourself, and hearing the answers come in, because it's like you're shape-shifting, and a part of your brain gets used, and that's what you do, okay? I'm going to decline this. Sorry, I thought I had the do not disturb on. I took it off. So anyhow, this is how you work with yourself to guide deepness. So by the way, I teach a lot of this, and I actually take you very deep on journeys. You probably have seen some of the shamanic sessions I've done back in October. Very, very deep work with people. And I want to, if you haven't seen them, go look in my video library. And one was done with Emerald for Peaceful for Green Forest, and another one was done with Shaman Erica, and another one was done with Sheena. And I do have other people who have said they wanted to do it, but it looks like they have backed out. Some of them have backed out. You know, it's a very vulnerable thing to do that. So I'm very appreciative of all those folks who showed up and did them. And then actually in a group, I did a shamanic session. And that one was like out there and very different because the person is already pretty esoteric to begin with and moves into other dimensions. So we can be that way when we are that way. So the thing about it is we can get you to look at some very deep pieces of yourself. And when you look at those very deep pieces in yourself that are causing you to react and not find that inner peace when a situation shows up in your life, what tends to happen is we will reprogram the neural pathways. And those neural pathways are needed to be reprogrammed, by the way, because let me tell you that every time you react to a situation, you have probably embedded and ingrained that into your neural pathway. And so it's a Pavlovian kind of response, so to speak. So when somebody says something, it triggers something within you. And so it's like, bam, it just happens. And we all know how Pavlovian, it's like the phone rings, you go answer it. That's a Pavlovian thing. And so, you know, that's how it is. And so you want to be conscious of it because that is very unconscious and subconscious. You just kind of do something just because it happened that way. So the key is when you can dive that deep, you reprogram things. You begin to reprogram the layers and peel off the layers so that you no longer react. You know, my issue was abandonment. And does it still come up? You bet it does. Sometimes it does. And when it does, I have to go look, and within part of me that feels abandoned. And not that my parents ever abandoned me. They never did. It's about the feelings of feeling abandoned. And when you have those feelings, it emits a certain vibration. And then when it emits that vibration, you either will repel people or you will magnetize people, or you will repel things to you or magnetize things to you. And so, you know, if you're in the midst of manifesting things in your life, you want to get that under control. And it's not even about under control. You want to handle it so that you are able to manifest, because this is what manifestation is all about. Like being able to manifest whatever you want in your life is really about sitting in your essence, your true soul essence. And your true soul essence can't shine through if you got all this, these extraneous energies, all this background stuff going on in your energy field. I like to call it your luminous field, your luminous energy field. So the key is to get those things under control, to handle them so that, you know, you don't feel that way. And if you do feel that way, you're aware of it. And then you go and you do what you need to do to work with yourself. And that's what I teach people to do in my program, Live Your Soul's True Destiny. So I'm accepting applications for it. It is a 9-month program. And many of you will say, oh, I don't know about that. The thing is, do you have everything you want in your life right now? That's the question to ask yourself. Do you feel good about yourself? Do you love yourself? You know, do you react to people? And if the answer is yes, that you sometimes react to people, react to even posts here on Facebook, you know, people react to them. Do you have judgments about people? Do you react to how people judge you? And if the answer is yes, then this program's for you. Now, it says it's for emerging healers. Here's the thing is, I believe there's a healer inside each and every one of us. So we all can do self-healing. And that's what I'm really all about, is self-healing anyway. I've been doing it for 22 years, been doing it for others, teaching other people how to heal themselves. And that's what this work is all about, how to heal yourself. And when you're able to heal yourself, you're able to help others. And how to sit through all the chaos, how to sit still through all the chaos. And I ready to dive into that as I embark on teaching the East this coming weekend with my first Medicine Wheel folks here. So I'm excited to be doing that. Lots of wonderful things to share with them and get them out of their muck and into this world doing what they're supposed to do. So I'd love for you all to do that. If you have any questions, inbox me. I'll put the link up for my my program. And just if you want to know that, it's at www.liveyourslow-true-destiny.com. Love to you all. And we all are here for a reason. Step into it, feel your essence, and be your essence. Namaste. Bye-bye.